What's up, Eminem family? So I am back with another episode for you all. And so it's Marilyn Desmond. If you're new to the family, this is a family. And if you're new to the channel, this is a channel where I talk about faith, business, and love, and everything in between. And yeah, so if you like what you see so far, if you haven't checked out the other videos, stop this one, go check out the other ones, and then come back. Okay. And then if you like what you see, subscribe, comment, share the video, share the channel, tell everybody that you love me, and that they should love this channel as well. So we'll get right into it. So there's so many things happening in 2020 already. And just so many things that God has been speaking to me. And he started back in 2019 with a lot of these topics that I'm pushing out, and just the way that he's been teaching me, and the way that he's been talking to me, and the way that he's been shaping my mentality, and the way that I think, and the way that I do things, and the way that I act and react to situations. And so one of the areas that God has been speaking to me about is the defense of myself. So as I've shared previously, I'm a child that is I guess they call it a survivor of sexual abuse. I don't really know what you call it, but I made it out. Okay. I didn't kill myself. I didn't die. I didn't fling my body all over the streets. Thank the Lord. Because that's really the grace of God. Because, you know, with a lot of sexual abuse survivors, there's usually a couple routes you go. You either go far to the left and you just feel like you're worth nothing, and somebody took your virginity, or someone molested you, fondled you, and your body's not worth anything, and you just give it to whoever. And then there's some people like me who kind of clam up and say, I'm not letting anybody touch me, blah, blah, blah. So although, you know, when I got to college, I did, lose my virginity in college eventually, but found my way back. Thank the Lord. And so, so I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And so there's so many factors that I see when I start just reading up on those types of things, and just allowing Holy Spirit to unlock so many things. And then also doing self-reflecting. I self-reflect a lot because God has been really good about showing me patterns in my life. Like, there's so many patterns and cycles in my life that have been repeated year after year. And so I've gotten to a place where I'm like, no, something has to give. This has to stop. And I have to make a change, and I have to recognize the root of this thing so that I can change. And so that's been the goal of my life these past, I would say about 3, 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years, especially since my mentor came into my life, when she literally started pointing out things like, this has happened to you year after year. You didn't notice? And I'd be like, no, this is a problem. You didn't know that? No, totally didn't see it. Didn't notice, didn't understand. And so once she's pointed out the first cycle, and then I started noticing other cycles in my life that had been happening literally around the same time every year, almost verbatim the situation. And it was like, geez, I got to stop this somehow. So there's been financial cycles. There's been cycles with jobs and bosses and things like that. So one cycle I noticed was with the defense of myself. And when you're someone that's a survivor of abuse, when you become someone that wants to control your environment. And I think I talked about this in the previous video, but you become someone that wants to control your environment, control the setting that you're in, control even the people around you, control how they treat you, and the things that they say to you, and things like that. You want to be able to literally control everything around you, so that you don't ever feel unsafe. You don't ever feel unprotected. You don't ever feel like, something could happen that you have no control over. So for me, that kind of manifested in that way. Like I became that person. I wanted to control everything around me. So, which led to me being a low-key perfectionist and someone that's like, I control my environment, I control my house, whatever I can control, I control my money, all these things, just so I can feel secure in knowing that things shouldn't happen out of place because I'm in control of all these things. But how many of us know you're not really in control when you think you're in control? And so that was one thing, becoming a person that was controlling my environment. But another thing that manifested out of being a victim of survivor of sexual abuse was defending myself. Because you're someone that's been violated and something has been taken from you, your innocence literally has been taken and like stripped from you, you become this person that realizes that you were unprotected, uncovered, and also not defended. For a lot of sexual abuse survivors, when they tell their story, they're not believed. Now, I didn't ever tell my story, so that's not my story, that I told my story and I wasn't believed. That's not my story. What did happen was I was forced into lying and saying that it didn't happen. Just because I was fearful of the consequences. So that's also another way of not being protected. And so that was one of the things that really led to me just being someone that when I got the chance to be able to defend myself, oh, honey, I turned into like, look, no one is going to talk to me any kind of way. No one is going to do anything to me. No one is going to do anything that makes me feel uncomfortable or unprotected or unguarded. And so I became that person that was just a firecracker. Like the moment you say something that I feel like is threatening or feels like, I have to defend myself, I was going to do it. Like I just literally just was always, I feel like on edge. And so that was one of the things. And also another thing was being bullied as a kid. So, of course, you guys know I'm Haitian. I grew up in a Haitian household, but I also grew up in the 80s where being Haitian was not cool. Nowadays, I live in Miami and apparently being Haitian is cool and it's all the jazz and all that. When I was growing up in the 80s and the early 90s, it was not cool to be a Haitian. We used to get bullied just because, bullied, beat up, teased, picked on, relentlessly, because kids just, they're cruel and they whatever they don't understand, they're going to, bully. So we got bullied. I remember specifically a situation where these big kids, they had to be in 4th or 5th grade, surrounded me and my cousins as we were walking home from school and started trying to beat us up. Some kid pushed me down. I scraped my knee really bad. But I didn't tell my mom because I knew my mom was crazy. My mother didn't speak much English, but she was going to tear that school down if she would have found out. So I managed to hide the fact that my knee was skinned from my mom for a few days. I don't know how many. It felt like a lot of days, but it probably was 2 days. But she was bathing me one day and she was getting ready to bathe me and she was trying to take off my stockings because I wore stockings because I was Haitian to school. Okay. Oh, Lord Jesus, if you were born in the 80s and you were Haitian, the way that your parents made you dress to go to school, we were so uncool. So uncool. Frilly socks, stockings, frilly dresses, bows in your hair. Oh my gosh, I'm probably going to dress my kids like that. I'm probably going to dress them like that. But anywho, so she was taking off my stockings and my stockings were sticking to my knees because my knees were scraped up and they were bleeding. And of course, as a kid, I don't know how to take care of a wound. And my mother was like, "What happened to you?" I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "You better tell me what happened." As I told her, next morning she went up to that school, had the principals, the teachers, everybody out there screaming and yelling. I guess the kids got suspended. I don't really know. I was like 5. I don't know what happened to them. But, those types of things where you were bullied as a kid. And another thing was being raised basically in Haitian culture, where you always feel the pressure of like, in Haitian culture, parents just don't believe in talking back. They don't believe in what feels like anything that feels like disrespect. They don't believe in that. So you don't talk back. You don't speak up for yourself. You don't give your opinion. That just doesn't happen. So when I got the chance to be able to do those things, give my opinion, talk back, I took full advantage. Okay. Another thing was not having a dad around. That was something that I really just kind of discovered in the past couple years as I started to learn God as a father. Realizing that not having my father around was such a big thing that made me feel, not protected, not guarded, as a person that was uncovered, and as someone who didn't have someone that I could go to and say, hey, this happened, and then know that they would take care of it. And so not having a father around was something that contributed to me feeling like I had to step up and defend myself, and there was things I didn't tell my mother just because I didn't want her to spiral out of control. Well, not out of control, but as a mother, she loved her kids, and my mother would do anything for us. And so if she knew certain things was happening, I know that she would have done something, but I also feel like there would have been consequences to what she would have done. Because, when you're upset, you just don't think rationally. And so not having a father around just made me feel like I had to step up and you have to defend yourself. But in learning God in these past 6 months, and him teaching me as my defender, like literally God was like, let me defend you. Let me speak up for you. Let me make situations right on your behalf. And for me, that's been a hard thing because, like I said before, I've always been in the mindset, like if I don't get it done, it's not going to get done. And if I need to get it done, I will get it done. Okay, no problems. And so I don't care who I have to talk to. I don't care who I have to, say whatever I need to say. I'm going to get it done. And so though that has led to me having issues with authority, because I just had an issue, like, because the adults in my life, I felt like didn't take their responsibility as an adult as seriously as they should have, or did what I thought adults should do in terms of protecting a kid. I had this issue with authority, like, dude, like, how you gonna tell me what to do and you not living right, or you not doing things right, or you don't even know how to protect a kid. And so those things led to me feeling like I have to stand up for myself. I have to do this. But God has been teaching me, like, reprogramming my mind in terms of what it means to be a daughter of the King, a daughter of the Most High God. And so some of the things I'm doing to teach myself how to stand down and allow God to defend me, number one has been to reflect on what defending myself, what has the results been so far. They haven't been good. Let me just go around and not even let y'all have to think about this. The results have not been good, because when I've defended myself, it's brought about situations where there was a situation where I got fired wrongfully from a job. And I won't get into the specifics of the what happened, but I was literally like discriminated against based on my race and my sexual orientation, which I never in my life thought I would be discriminated against based on my sexual orientation. And I sent this scathing email to the CEO of the company, because I had direct access to his email, and I had direct access also to higher level management. I knew a lot of people in higher level management, and eventually he got fired on his own because he was just doing stuff. The boss that fired me was doing stuff that was out of order anyway. But I really feel like God could have done more in that situation had I kept my hands completely out of it, because I think me sending that email put a light on him, but I also believe that God could have done more in that situation. Now that I think about it years later, that he could have done more in that situation had I kept myself out of it and not sent that email. The email was, everything was in it was true. I listed everything that had happened. every detail, which was completely true. I didn't lie, but I also feel like God could have done more. Also, another thing is allowing him to fight your battles. The thing with us is we don't realize that God is, my friend always says this, God is a gentleman. He's not going to force you to do anything. So if you want to defend yourself, this is God. Okay. Go ahead. Have at it. You think you can do better? Go ahead and do it. And so we go into these situations thinking we're doing something good. And God is like, I could have done so much more if you just would have stood down, if you just would have let me get in front of this. And so we have to allow God to fight our battles. We have to give Holy Spirit permission to speak in certain situations, to go and speak to the person that can bring about justice for us. Allow him to be the advocate that he is. Allow him to be the lawyer. Allow him to let the research speak for itself, the evidence speak for itself. But if we don't allow him to do that, how is he going to do it? And so first we have to reflect on what has defending yourself done so far. What has been the good that has come out of it? And for most of us, there hasn't been any good. Another thing is allowing God to be our defender. You have to give him space to be God. We're fighting to be the warriors in our life. We're fighting to be these women that let people know that they can't do certain things to us, but not knowing that we have a Father that can defend us way better than we can. And another thing is resting from the constant fighting and battling. When you're someone that has literally been Sealy all my life, I had to fight. I literally feel like that's been my story. All my life I had to fight. Like, I feel like I've had to fight in every situation as a kid, teenager, young adult, in my adult years. And so that's all I've known. Like, that's literally all I've known, was to be the person. I'm gonna put up my fist. Let's go. Let's do it. Like, what? No, I'm not afraid. Like, I'm not scared. Let's just go. If this is a fight, I'm game. I'm ready for a fight. And so when you're someone that's always been in constant fight, constant battle mode, constant war mode, you're literally on 10 every single day, and that's why our shoulders are tense. We got migraine headaches because everything about us is we're literally, all of our nerve endings are on attack mode every second of the day, because we're always looking for the next battle. Who's gonna try me? Who's gonna do it today? Who's gonna try to come for me today? And it's like, you don't always have to be in war mode. Like, there is a place of rest in Hebrews. I believe it's Hebrews 4. I think it's around the 10th or 11th verse, where it says there's yet a rest that God has for his children. Like, there's this rest that God has for us. And it's not a lay down in your bed rest, but it's literally an internal rest, a mental rest, an emotional rest that God has for us, where we're not constantly in a place where it's like people with, I think some of us literally have like childhood PTSD, where we've always been so used to fighting. So going into our teenage years, going into our young adult years, going into our adult years, we came from a war zone. So now we're constantly looking for the next battle. Where's the next bomb going to drop? Who's going to come up next to me and try to shoot me or kill me or, take me out? Like, and we don't have to be that way when we're in Christ. Like, we don't. And I'm not just preaching to y'all, I'm preaching to myself. Because when you've always been that person looking for the next shoe that's going to drop, you just don't know how to rest. You don't know how to relax. You don't know how to let stuff go, because you're just always feeling like something else is going to come. Like, it just can't be good. It just can't, I just can't not have any issues happening in my life at this moment, but it can. You can have rest. You can find a place where your mind is at ease, your emotions are at ease, and you found a place where there's a comfort in God, and knowing that you're covered, that you're protected, that you're guarded, that you're provided for, that God literally has you surrounded And so, being in that place where I'm finding that place that I don't have to always be in a battle. I don't always have to be in a war. I don't always have to feel like I have to be ready to fight. You know, that's phrase, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. For me, that's not about like business and all this stuff. That's because I got to see who else is coming and make sure I'm ready. But I don't have to be like that because I have a Father who is my protector. And the last thing goes with this, this previous point, is taking your place as a daughter. And if you're a guy watching this, taking your place as a son. Even for men, I believe that's, you know, a lot of men have childhood PTSD too, that you've been in a war zone, a battle zone. So you're on fight or flight mode. Like, you're always stressed and you're always thinking about what else is coming around the corner. But when we take our place, our rightful places as daughters of the Most High God, true daughters don't worry. True daughters are not fretting and worried about what's coming around the corner. True daughters know that their fathers go out to battle. If the army come calling, I don't go to war. The men in my family will go to war. My father would go. I don't think my father's at the age to go to war, but my father, if he were at the age, would go to war. But I don't go to war. I rest. I wait for my father to come back from the battle and give me the report of what he's done. Give me the report of the battle that he's won. And so in this season, in 2020, stop defending yourself. Stop feeling like you have to fight every battle. Stop feeling like you always have to be on guard. Stop feeling like you always have to have the answer. Stop feeling like you always have to give somebody a piece of your mind. You don't. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not answer a person, is not give them a response. And leave them in the mess that they're in, leave them in the argument that they're in, let them argue with themselves, and you walk away with your peace of mind. So my sisters, my brothers, whoever is watching, I really would love for men to watch this channel as well. Stop defending yourself in 2020. Let God defend you. When God defends you, listen, no one can win that war against him. No one can win the war against our Father in 2020 or ever. And so if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, please comment below. You can also email me at mimismusing@gmail.com. And please like this video, share, comment, tell me what you got from this video, and tell me how you're going to change things up in 2020. Like, we got to do better. And doing better means learning to live in peace and learning to rest in our Father. So I really do love you guys. I'm really so excited about this video. I think I say this every video, but I really am excited about this channel and what God is doing and what he's doing for me. This is not just stuff I'm directing at an audience. This is stuff that is also healing me internally. So please let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And please come back for the next video. I will be back. I don't know what I'll be talking about, but I'll be back with something for you all. So I love you all. And I pray that you have a blessed day, night, whenever you're watching this. Peace.